5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
sync. Hello, everybody, and welcome to TTV 248. I think it is 248.
So, someone did a sync, and it just sounded like a robot took over.
Sync. I'm Meso.
I'm Var.
I'm Eljay.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Venathan.
I'm Phweff.
And I'm Tenebrain Victus.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today?
Mardi Gras!
Oh, stop doing that, Van.
Mardi Gras.
That's a stupid. That's a Vine
It's
joke.
a tradition.
Yeah,
It's part of.
What do you know about tradition?
The tradition of Mardi Gras is the tradition.
What do you know about anything, man?
You know, like our
TTV.
TTV
No way.
not starting on time.
More
There were
than
a
you
couple
do,
of people
punk.
who were annoyed about Mardi Gras for no reason. They said we needed to go
Yeah,
to
I know,
Mardi
and they're
Gras.
dumb.
So let's go.
It's dumb reasons.
Let's go to Mardi Gras,
Having
guys.
Mardi Gras is dumb.
Also, by the way,
smell
like
oil.
the whole like you need to actually go to Mardi Gras before you can joke about Mardi Gras. It's like the silliest thing I've ever
That's
heard.
pretty dumb.
Okay, you
technically,
better not
Mes-
make any jokes about clowns unless you're a clown.
Deep down,
technically,
I hated
Meso.
that. Yes.
Down, I hate it.
Meso's been above Mardi Gras. He hasn't been
No.
in Mardi
No.
Gras.
You're right.
No,
This
it
is
doesn't
true.
count.
Mardi Gras.
We all
I've
have
never
to be
been in
there.
a parade.
Mardi Gras with Rick and Morty.
Mardi
It
Gras.
wasn't even in a
We-
TTV
that's what
podcast
starts
where
a Mardi
Meso
Gras,
said that.
Morty.
It was a separate video that didn't have any relation to
John,
regular
I don't know
Bionicle.
what
It
you're
just
saying.
Was that even English, dude?
I heard it. I heard it, bud.
I heard it, but you were quiet, so I thought that was funny.
I had to turn my volume down because of last night. Sorry.
Oh yeah, last night we had the worst Overwatch gaming gauntlet
Last
we've ever
night we
I
had.
had-
keep
like,
telling you
yeah.
guys, stop
Right.
playing that
Dude.
game.
I know. I
No,
had, like,
I enjoyed
every
it.
time I lost. I was just like, man, I gotta play again. I just gotta see. I gotta see how long it's gonna take for us to win. We didn't win. We never
didn't-
won.
We still haven't
never
won
won.
today.
Yeah.
What hour did we start?
We started.
It was right after Transformers.
Yeah. What time was that?
It was like 1.
It was
I
like
think,
8. It was like
1
8 or
Central,
9
2
in the
Eastern.
morning because well, for me, anyways, that was 8 or 9 in
Yeah,
the
I
morning.
think
Yeah,
it
it's about. It was about 2 or
So that
3
was
in the
about
morning.
3 in the morning for you guys.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, it was about 3 in the morning. So we were playing it for like 4 hours, maybe.
Yeah,
'Cause I went to bed at like 6.
and
Yeah.
I've
No, 3.
screamed.
Yeah, no,
I
it
was
like
so
2
mad at
hours.
one point.
Oh, you want to talk
That's
about
why.
mad?
That's why I don't. That's why I don't touch that game anymore.
Eljay is like
It's
working.
okay.
I like
while
keeping
he
my
was
computer
playing.
intact and not broken.
It's okay. It was an inner rage that I hadn't released in like 19 years, so it's
In a
okay.
rage.
I
Actually,
wasn't in a
my-
rage
yeah.
that. Oh, dude, Ven, we got to meet him,
Yeah, I know, dude.
It's true.
The man was handsome.
dude.
No,
Inner-age, man.
I'm just saying right now, like meeting Inner Rage, that was pretty cool. It's it's like someone I used to idolize, sort of on BZP. But then you realize that this man looks like a god, and then
The audience.
that just
He
it
was
adds
so-
to the experience.
so
Well, it's
chiseled.
because like I always thought he was a super nerd because he just made like a. That's why I knew him for was a sprite.
I
kit
assume
stuff.
you're talking
Because
Yo,
you
about.
this guy
identified
looked
with
like
him.
a bodybuilder.
Yeah, exactly.
Who is in a rage for all the fans that are unenlightened?
Inner Rage, he was
He was a
BZPower member that used to do a lot of cool fan art, specifically
Staff
pixel
member?
art.
Yeah.
He used to create Bionicle sprites, and he
Halo
was very
sprites.
popular because he had a really cool style. Yeah,
He
it
had
was
a really
like
good
it was very realistic and very detailed. And he also did Halo sprites, did a bunch of different stuff.
His sprites looked like they were lifted right out of a Game Boy game that never got released.
You're right.
Yeah,
They were really good.
For a minute,
well,
I thought
2.5
you were
and beyond.
I thought you were talking about Shadow Gear because
2.0
every
is great.
time, like Shadow Gear in a nutshell to these guys is like handsome.
2.0 is pretty good too, but like 2.5 actually looks like it's from like the Game Boy. You know,
I mean, I think
Yeah.
that 2.0 looks like it's from a sprite game too. Just a
It's
different
not enough.
style.
Not as
eh,
much.
Yeah.
I
not
think
really.
2.5 was
Like
when it
2.0, like
stepped
the
out
reason
of
you
that
don't
boundary.
use 2.5 as your main kit, where you like 2.0, is why it doesn't look like a Game Boy game.
I mean, 2.5 is
true.
just it doesn't work. It doesn't work for comics, which is what we use these kits
Yeah,
for.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it works for games. It looks like it's out of a video game.
Like
And I didn't make
Populus's
games.
quest for the Toa, whatever it was called.
2.5
Yeah,
had like
the
way
door,
more
man.
detail.
I
Yeah,
mean,
2.5. No, it did look like a game. It was very.
It looked
2.5
really
was
good.
my
I used to
favorite by
love
far.
making expansions to that kit. That's how I got into spriting and pixel art. And all
Yeah,
that.
like the 2008 editions and stuff like that. That was sweet.
yeah.
No one
People
in
are-
our audience understands.
Yeah, I was literally supposed to say no.
Well, okay,
people
there's
know
one
what we're
guy.
talking about right now.
That's why I'm calling
guy
it
does.
pixel art, because that's the like the
Nice,
common
What's
term.
pixel art?
Shout out to
What's
you,
a pixel?
Lagonta, the Levitor.
All right,
What is
that
art?
fills our quota this week. No.
There we go. That's our patron shout out.
Sure,
so.
yeah.
There you go.
Shout out Lagonta, the Livitor, and Patreon. Let me interrupt this
He was
off-topic
a
discussion.
fellow
just a
comic
plug.
maker.
I gotta say, if you want to help us out, go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/TTV channel. We're getting decently close to our goal of bringing back the TTV T-shirts, stretch goal of $400 a month. But we do want that to stay consistent. So for how things go, you could donate big numbers, or you could spread the word to all your friends and say all TTV needs from you is $1. Go help them out. Spread the word around that we have cool
All
stuff
we
to
need is
offer.
$1.
$1, basically.
Any little bit helps.
And also
The
go to
price of a
message
pencil.
boards. TTV message boards, board of the TV channel.
Dollars for dollars.
Awesome place.
So, what else
It's a
is?
magical place.
Yeah, it's a magical place. What else is going on today?
So here's what happened this morning. I was going to say last night, but actually this morning. Fun fact: I'm back at Var's house. We're
Hello.
working on some
Go
stuff.
away.
Hi, how you doing, man? So last night, Var has the studio. We turned his spare bedroom into a studio. It was like exactly like Rooster Teeth, or working in this Var's spare bedroom, and he has a really nice setup. But what I didn't realize, he has all the boxes set up against his windowsill, which is great because it keeps the lighting consistent and it has a cool little backdrop you can use for our set. But I didn't realize that meant I didn't see daylight at all. And so I was working on something. I worked on something so late that I was like, oh, I need to get something on my car. And I went out and I took my phone to give me a flashlight so I could see in the dark. I will go out and I open the door and I'm blinded by sunlight.
Blinded by light.
And I'm walking out and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. It literally felt like just a really long night. And I went outside and I was like, oh yeah, it's day. So that's how long I've been doing this.
Blinded by the light.
I've been awake for maybe
Wow.
4 hours. Or I've been asleep for maybe 4 hours up until this point.
Likewise. It was
Yeah.
an interesting experience.
That's what happens when you stay up all night playing Overwatch.
That it is. That it is.
Exactly, that's what happened.
Huh?
I was like Batman in a Batman movie. I saw the sunlight
I didn't even play any video games when I was up all night. Holy cow.
What happened with you? How you doing?
So I went to a friend's graduation last night and then didn't get home till almost 11.
Rip.
And by that time I hadn't packed my bags because I just came up to visit my parents for the week since my sister's graduating from high school. And so I spent the night packing and then I just kind of delayed going to sleep, even though my flight, I had to leave from the airport at 4:45 in the morning. So I didn't go to bed till 2 something, and I wasn't even playing any games. I had everything put away, and I was still up.
Rest in pizza.
Right?
Well,
I slept on the
to
plane.
eat a
No
Pizza.
more for us to eat. So.
Don't talk about
here
the
we go
eats.
again.
let's not bring up that again.
Yes, please. That would be a good idea.
Yes, please, or no,
What do you-
please.
what did I with you?
Make-
Phweff?
Oh, okay,
Anything-
let's talk about it then.
No.
Yes,
Anything
let's
worth
do it.
talking about on your
So let's
end?
talk about that.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Or you and Phweff, I guess.
Well, hold on, I'm rocking out to this jam
No,
right here.
it's okay. It's better than talking about.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Good mythical Varning.
No, keep it going. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I said.
No, not you.
No.
Breaking
Did you
up.
say? Phweff, did you say it was better than talking about G3, your favorite thing in the world?
Yeah, it goes.
We're breaking up. I can't hear you.
No, yeah, she's going through a tunnel. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I understand.
my house is going through a tunnel, so I.
What? You want me to burn you alive?
Dude, British people are weird.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't know you had moving houses. That's cool.
yeah, stuff, right?
Yeah,
Anyway,
something
so-
else that happened.
We're actually waiting on you.
What is
to do
happening?
something.
what is
Oh,
stuff?
okay. I was really waiting. I was really hoping that was gonna be a silent moment. So, anyway, so stuff's been going on, right? And let me tell you, that stuff is pretty crazy. So, I went over to the stuff, and the stuff
You went over to the stuff,
to me,
yeah.
and the stuff
Mhm.
stuff inside the stuff.
Right.
I've been to this stuff before.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so what has actually been going on this week is I'm introducing Meso to Transformers.
Yes, he's been doing that because Vin's like, he's joined the ranks of Eljay and Purple in the best people I know category because he sat through 4 seasons of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to get caught up and sync viewed all of it in time for the finale, which is a tremendous time investment.
That is incredible that we actually managed to pull that off.
It's in a time sink. I commend you for doing it.
I see.
And
He's got no life. That's what it is.
And now I'm watching
I had a life.
Transformers.
I sacrificed it for Meso.
Yeah, basically. And now I'm watching
That sounds
Transformers.
like demonic.
Beautiful, man.
Meso is like this
Right, it was like
demon.
It was a deal.
like
Made a
Venom drew
deal
like
with the
a
devil.
pentagram and everything, and
No, it's pretty bad though. Like my
Summoned Meso.
my girlfriend would actually call me because she's in the Philippines right now. She's like, "Oh, hey, how's everything been over there?" I'm like, "Hey, yeah, now's not.
I can't talk right now.
I can't talk right now.
Meso.
I'm
I'm doing
watching
something
Agents
really
of
important
S.H.I.E.L.D..
with one of my friends.
She's like,
going through
really,
some stuff.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I'm like, it's a good show, believe me. She's like, whatever, hangs up.
Then don't
Wow.
let your relationship get destroyed.
You're gonna ruin the relationship, Meso.
Yeah, that relation. Yeah, it's over thanks to you, Meso.
I
It
mean,
wouldn't
it's
be the
been-
first time.
God.
It wouldn't be the first time that Meso messed up one of my relationships.
Wait, really?
Oh,
Mess up now.
Now you got to tell this
So
story
I
a
was
little
playing
bit.
Mass Effect 3.
Purple's not here to tell the story.
Spoilers.
I got a girlfriend in Mass Effect 3, and I got to a point in the game where the stakes were high. We'll just say that, okay? Stakes were high.
Lots of stakes.
And I was asking
Stakes
Meso like what I should do. Now Meso knew that I had this girlfriend in the game. He knew exactly who she was. He knew her role in the story, so on. He told me to do this one thing. I did that one thing. I followed along. I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to Meso. He's played this game before. He knows what's up. Then the story progresses. I'm watching the cutscenes. I'm like, okay, cool. It looks like everything will be better. And then, no, things don't end up better. Things turn for the worst. My girlfriend dies, and
Your girlfriend
all
doesn't
because of
die.
messes
Your
with
girlfriend
women.
kills herself.
some
because
other major character
Meso
that
made
I
you do
thought was
something.
kind of cool, but definitely didn't care so much about. He also dies anyway. So
Nice.
For any people who want to know what he's talking about, non-spoilers, it's the Korean plot line. So.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
RIP
people were
your
able to get
girlfriend,
that.
dude.
I feel like people were able to get that from kill themselves, because that's a fairly unique.
I didn't even
death.
say that she killed herself. I just said that she died.
Oh,
But yeah, thank you for
somebody
the
else said
painful
that.
reminder. Yes, everybody. Meso convinced me to get my girlfriend to commit suicide, basically, in the game.
Oh my gosh.
It's
You're
one of the
starting off with a
moments.
dark episode.
It's one of the moments I'm most proud of, to be honest.
oh my
Like,
gosh!
Okay. What?
What
on earth?
It's fictional, man. It's a fictional game. Come on.
How are you a real person?
My trolling usually is like for
No,
insubstantial
he's a
stuff. That one
sociopath.
was pretty big, so I take credit for it. It was,
What's your problem, dude? You're the devil.
no, but listen, I'm repaying it by
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
Transformers, and it's been fun.
You're the devil.
I'm watching
Yeah,
G1
so-
Transformers.
Yeah,
Is he
so
dead, bro?
yeah, I'm gonna explain that. So yeah, I'm introducing. Well, I said yeah like 3 times in that one sentence.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah. I'm introducing
Yeah.
Meso to a little bit of G1, just to get some context, because really the stretch goal is to get into Transformers Animated. And I feel like there's so many homages and references to G1 and Transformers Animated that I felt like it would be a smart idea to kind of get into that first. So we watched the first 3 episodes. We watched the Dinobots episode, and we watched the movie.
Dude, that movie was
Great.
it was a journey.
That movie was back when movies had soundtracks and those meant something. You know, it's
Yeah.
like they play that music and you're like,
Dude,
Yeah.
dude.
We didn't need to hear it, guys.
You got the power!
No copyrighted music.
Yeah, it was pretty great. No, it's crazy. I've seen that movie many times when I was younger. I never realized until last night when we watched it that, spoiler alert, for those who, I guess, still want to see it after
Like
like 30,
me.
40 years.
Yeah, freaking
all the Autobots that were introduced in the first 2 seasons of that show basically died. They straight up fresh.
Like murder them with like no care at all in like the first 10 minutes.
One of my favorite Autobots died off screen, and you just see his dead body lying around.
That's how we should
one
do
frame.
Man, I'm telling you, we just like open up.
Imagine if there was a Bionicle theatrical movie in 2008.
Yeah, exactly.
You go there. Yeah, and the first thing that happens is that they reveal Matanui's a robot, and you're like, "What? That's crazy!"
That's so cool. And then you like zoom in, and you see all the Toa, and they're just rotting corpses on the ground.
Like, Makuta just kills them all in 2 minutes, and you're like,
"What?" He just walks in. He's like, why haven't I done this already?
It's the Glatorian.
It was ridiculous. The first couple of minutes in the movie, Megatron just steps into this Autobot ship and kills everyone.
He kills everybody.
It's like it was
It's
nothing.
so impressive. It's so impressive because it's like, what has stopped you from doing this for the past 2 seasons? He literally there's like no resistance at all. He just walks in, shoots everybody, and leaves.
He even has a line in the movie where he's like, "Oh, that was almost too easy." Like, what? That was too easy.
How do we have a show?
You know what really stopped him? Writing and money.
True. That is very true.
But,
yes.
So
you know, like, we were talking about Transformers. Transformers does do a cool thing where they have like the Generation 1, you know, and that's the iconic like TV version of Transformers. But then like every couple of years, not every year, but like every couple of years, they'll release a new version of Transformers. Right? They'll release like a new canon, a new reinterpretation of the storyline. Yeah, with some of the main characters, you know, Optimus Prime, generally Bumblebee, Megatron, and like, you know, the others. But it is interesting over time that like the story of Transformers keeps getting reinvented, even though you kind of know the beats and you kind of don't, and they keep doing like new canons with it. And we're talking about how that would be cool for Bionicle. That's kind of what G3.
Man, I take basically anything for Bionicle, as long as it exists.
Yeah,
it's not.
Like we were talking a bit about that last night, and I'm just thinking, like, yeah, that would be pretty cool. Like, say by the time I have kids, then Bionicle's still around, but it's rebooted. I could be like, yeah, you know, Tahu may be cool now, but let me tell you, Tahu in my day though, he was the best. He was a Mystica.
Oh,
all right.
That is not.
Mistake.
That is not the year you want to reference.
Oh yeah.
The spinning shield.
I'm gonna reference. Is there one thing I'm gonna reference about
awesome.
sets? It's G2.
The Ninra Ghost Blaster.
Yeah, he had a Ninra Ghost Blaster. What's your Tahu got?
He shoots something. And the fact that Tahu looks like a ninja.
Yes, exactly. Ninja Go.
It just,
Something else we've been doing. I don't know if anybody cares or we want to talk about this at all, but we listened to the new Linkin Park album.
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah,
great.
that too.
It wasn't
See,
great.
that album left me with such a lack of an impression that I forgot about it.
It wasn't great.
Yes, like I listened to like 1 or 2 songs, they just didn't hit notes with me, so I was just kind of like, meh.
That's
Hey,
basically
you should actually listen to the whole album though. See if something.
Yeah.
I was
actually
reading
does
some
stick out.
reviews today.
I mean, I kind of doubt it, but you know,
Are
you
they
never know.
divisive, man?
Oh no, they're all like criticism. Like everybody's just tearing into it. I don't think I saw one good thing about that album from like any reviews that I glimpsed at.
Rep.
Yeah.
I think the average score was like 45 out of 100.
Oh yeah, no. Critical consensus for the album is pretty bad overall, but the fan base, at least from what I've seen on Reddit, is very divided. There's more infighting. There's almost as much infighting, and I'm not going to say more. I take it back. I really do. There's almost as much infighting as there is in the Bionicle community.
wow.
G3.
Nah, that's impossible.
I said almost. Almost,
Can't
okay?
be possible though.
That's not possible.
Yeah.
I mean, to
What
be
he
fair,
said.
it's like Linkin Park came back and it was like a lesser version of itself, and then
Oh.
that's it.
I
That's all
mean,
you
yeah,
get for a couple
exactly.
years.
It's kind of a similar principle.
Yeah, I get that.
They rebooted Linkin Park.
Same.
Basically,
Sunset Linkin
the new
Park.
album sounds that's another general criticism, is that it sounds nothing like Linkin Park. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I
But
would
people
say that's
associate
my
Linkin
issue
Park
with
with a lot of creativity. They switch up their style every album and try different things. With this album, it was like, sure, they
This
tried
was
something
generic.
different. It wasn't,
Like,
yeah.
from
Rip
what
it
I've
off
listened,
of
it's
it.
generic. It's nothing creative. Like, if it was different, like, I would have liked it, because I like nearly all the albums. But this
Yeah, I
one
like
was
all the albums,
I
too.
just didn't like it, like from what I've heard so far anyways.
Totally.
I only
agree.
stuck with Linkin Park past the angsty days because they actually like changed it up.
Dude, I
every
actually
album.
really liked Hunting Party. Like
Yeah, I did too. That was
there
probably
there
my
was some
favorite,
really
honestly.
good songs on there. Like, the same,
Living Things is
same.
my favorite.
Living Things for life.
A lot of them
Dude,
are too
Living Things
angsty
is
for me.
overrated, even though it's like my second
You're
favorite.
over it. I guess you can say Linkin Park needs to say good goodbye to their reputation.
Okay.
They just need
It's
to
like,
become
okay.
invisible.
Come on.
And they need to say sorry for now to their fan base.
Yeah, because nobody can save them now.
Nobody can save them. Yeah, there you go.
No,
Yeah, that-
stop it.
I feel like the issue is that they use way too much of that certain like techno. Like I know that there's all sorts of different technos, but they've been using
double
this
chipmunk thing.
one
It's
really
like
similar.
it's the baby noises and
Yeah,
the
it's really
chipmunk
similar
sounds
to
that
like
they do.
pop
Yeah.
music. Yeah, and
You're similar to
most
pop
pop
music.
music sounds the same to me, and it bores me to death. So
When I
that's
go
kind of where I get my
to-
connection from.
When I go to Fazoli's, right? I want Italian.
To where?
If I went to Fazoli's and they were like, "Hey, we're now at Panda Express," I'd be like, "Well, I mean, I like Panda Express, I guess, but I kind of came here because I really wanted Italian food." It's like I don't want this from you. If I wanted to go
Right.
to Panda Express, I'd go to friggin' Panda Express, and that's why I feel of Linkin Park, where it's like I don't really hate any of the songs as much as I'm like, yeah, but like I came to Linkin Park for a certain sound, a certain kind of like feeling when I listen to the
It
song.
doesn't exist.
But I don't get that
So-
anymore, and now I can't go to you guys and get that.
I think it's just kind of funny in that sense that bands aren't like don't have to cater to what you want to hear, but at the same time, the irony is that that's basically what they did, and they failed.
Made you cut out. Repeat that.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you there.
Say that again.
This is the
Just,
trade-off he gets for fiber.
No, I don't know what's going on. Okay. I just think it's funny that, bands don't have to serve your needs, but yet they catered to the pop need and then they failed, basically.
Yeah, basically, that's how it goes.
Right. I mean, like they're trying to capitalize on like the pop sound, I guess, and trying to. But like you look at right now, 21 Pilots is doing just fine. If Fall Out Boy is doing just fine in the pop realm. And-
I've never liked any of like those two bands. So
yeah, I know. What I'm
this
saying is that
makes
they
sense to me.
succeed popularly. We've established you don't like
Yeah,
pop.
they are
Phweff.
popular.
They're popular, and they didn't like have to have the indie tech kind of like sound that Linkin Park has now in order to do it. So Linkin Park didn't necessarily need to change, but
Totally
maybe
right.
something different, better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've been more of an indie fan for a long time, and there is some really good pop songs that have come out, like, recently, like, that feel different. Like, maybe it's just me, like, my taste of music, so.
Maybe.
Wadden says, what about Gorillaz?
Oh, Gorillaz.
Yeah, I was
is
about to
doing real
say
good right now.
Gorillaz.
Band? But like that, I do feel like
They're not really poppy
yeah,
though.
and pop, everyone remembers "Feel Good." That was their huge pop hit, and they're still good, but nothing is hit "Feel Good" in terms of the public consciousness. People know about Gorillaz, but I wouldn't say it's like at the level of
Yeah,
like
I also
you know,
know about
21
chimpanzees.
Pilots. Or,
I knew
Sa-
it. I knew you were
Saturn's
going to say
Bars is
something.
really
I'm
good.
just waiting.
I really like Saturn's Bars. I haven't really listened to the other
Santa's
tracks
bars.
as much.
Saturn.
Saturn's Bars. You know, it's the one that goes, "Oh my life,
oh my life,
oh my life."
Alright. I get the point.
I don't like this.
You love me, little wife. Oh my life.
Anyway, yeah, that's the Gorillaz song.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Well,
To be fair, the most recent Gorillaz album has also not been received like
No, I'm
incredibly well amongst like some of their past stuff.
Has it been doing like average? I haven't checked.
Yeah, I mean, like the general consensus is like, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
no one's really being like, oh man, this is their best album since
Right.
since Demon Days.
And
See,
to
it's
be
weird. I
fair,
never really got into Gorillaz until now,
yeah,
and,
same.
then I listened to the new album, and then I actually listened to Demon Days. And I gotta say, they're both okay.
They're alright.
Yeah.
I don't like all that. It's like because they change it up so much. I don't like all of their songs, but I at least like one.
I actually like
in each
Plastic
album.
Beach the most.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
like
I
Stylo
haven't
a
listened to that
lot.
one yet.
So
And that's
maybe
true.
that
A few ones from Plastic Beach are really good.
I get the artist's desire to do something new because I mean we do that on our channel, and there are some people who are like, "Oh, we miss the old stuff," and we're like, "Yeah, but we can't really do that anymore because like that's like we got it this far and we want to try something new." So as someone who creates stuff and has to release it to people who are critical about it, I sympathize in that sense. But at the same time, it feels people are talking about like we're doing BIONICLE G3 now, but there's a time where there was no
Not right
content.
now.
Yeah, not right now.
This is the only way we can get Phweff to talk.
There people are talking about oh, I came to you guys for BIONICLE. Now you're just doing like general Lego stuff or some other stuff, and we're like, yeah, well, you can't just keep doing BIONICLE over and over again because we did that and we reached a ceiling for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
So I
for
get
the people
that.
who like are sick of G3, like in the audience, would you rather us go back and complain more about G2? Because I don't.
Trust
we've
me.
passed
I
that.
will.
I don't know if there's a lot of people in the audience that are sick of G3. From what I've seen, a lot of like when it comes to negative comments based on like what we're doing, it's usually regarding how we're moving from BIONICLE to Lego stuff.
Yeah.
And in that instance, it's just like, I mean, like, there's not really
And where
like
else
what else are we
would
gonna
we
do?
go?
What can we
Yeah.
talk about?
Like the reason where
Everything
you
else
don't
seems
want
like
to do
a
it
random
in a
thing.
sense. We
comparison.
just have to.
Yeah, like if BIONICLE was
Oh.
still around and actually giving us things to talk about, then
I guess
and
we
very
could go to
popular and everything.
Transformers.
Oh.
That would have been
That's the other
that would have been
direction we could've
arguably
gone in.
worse
I
in the
feel-
sense of like the audience who doesn't like us doing the Lego stuff.
I think now is
Just going
actually
to
a
Transformers.
really good time, better than any. I do have something to give everyone. In the general
oh boy.
community, the sponsor chat right here, the audience at large. I'm going to make an individual video about this, but yes. So about 2 months ago, Lego message boards were announced to be closing, and everyone was kind of curmudgeon about it because that's the only place that BIONICLE Ninjago writer Greg Farshtey is on, and he was answering a bunch of fan questions in one topic. Well, the Lego message boards are going to shut down, and he had nowhere else to go, and that's kind of unfortunate because that's our only database until recently outside of BZPower, and the BZPower archives are gone. So I asked the community to give me a hand and make a database for that one topic. Thankfully, community member Voximo stepped up to the plate. He did an outstanding job, and if you guys go ahead and download that, there'll be a link in the description, and I posted a link to the sponsor chat. There you go. Thanks to him, you guys have a complete Greg Farshtey Lego message board topic archive that you can sift
Whoa.
through at your leisure.
Get hyped.
I'm doing
Really
it now.
cool. It's like the site never went down sometimes.
Yes.
pretty
You're,
awesome.
like scrolling through
He
the topics.
did an amazing job. It's fantastic, and so we do have this archived.
Speaking of archives, Greg Farshtey archives, do we want to talk about the other one?
Planet.
It's very
versus-
important.
We'll
Sure,
talk about
yeah,
that one.
yeah,
That one's
It's
absolutely.
actually really
important
cool.
to the fan.
I think that one's
needs
almost more important in some
Planet
instances.
Person
Ouch.
over on BZP with the help of several other members, including some band members who wasn't able to give proper credit to in the topic, which is pretty funny. He's making a big archive of the Greg Farshtey discussion posts because he used to be on BZP, and if you PM'd him, you could ask your questions and then you could post his answers in the topic. Well, someone managed to archive the topic to save it from BZP's Armageddon, basically. And they've put it up as a database. I don't have a link on me right now. I'll go find one. And they're eventually going to make it into a searchable version that we can all, like, type in as search terms. We could type in, like, Tahu, and it'll bring up every time Greg mentioned Tahu, which would be immensely useful. Right now, it's awesome, but you have to scroll through, like, dozens and dozens of pages, which can take a while, but it's still fascinating that this has happened, and I'm really glad that it's been preserved because it's an important part of
It's
BIONICLE.
indexable and it's searchable. It's actually a really great product.
Yeah, it is
Definitely.
really impressive.
I'm really glad when like people do like they do an extra thing and then they make it like very fully featured. The Biomedia Project does a lot of BIONICLE
Yeah.
stuff, and it is actually a legitimately great service that they have. Everything's categorized, organized. You can download them all. You can download stuff in or you can download stuff in like the original Flash versions. Very, very good product. And this is kind of along this same lines.
Definitely.
Isn't he also doing something with the LMB too?
I think he is. I think he has his own backup, but we got ours out first. Hooray.
But
All right, let's progress. I think it's time we get into G3 for the week.
bye, Phweff. Bye, Invi.
Yes.
See ya.
Yeah, see you
It's nice
later.
knowing you guys.
This week, I'm not sure how far we'll really get, but we do have a few important things to address. Many community-centric things. We've got a cool pitch somebody made. We've got some cool concepts somebody made. Those will be the primary points of discussion. I'm not really sure how far we will get beyond that. So let's start off with the smaller of the two, the thing that'll take the shortest amount of time to actually discuss. I'm going to say 2 words, and it's going to trigger people. Leg debate. But don't worry, we're not actually talking about it. We're not actually talking about it. Don't worry. But somebody did make some cool concept art that I do want to show, just so people are aware. And it's our good old buddy Ragdoll, who, if you remember him, Ragdoll was one of the first people when this old G3 project started to make the Toa minifigure concepts. Chat's great, including masks and minifigures and printing and whatnot. Well, for the sake of Devil's Advocate, Ragdoll supports short legs in the infamous debate.
Thank
but
you.
he has made some long leg concepts to try to sell the point home, because I've always
Now, he's not the only one to do it either.
Yes,
Right.
there's someone else as well. I'm just trying to find the
There's
topic
two
right
different.
now. To
There are
link them.
2 different designs that were released, or concepts from 2 different people working on Matoran leg designs. I believe the one. I think the other one
LQ,
was
I think.
LQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, LQ worked with a couple of other people.
Okay. We've got fans trolling us.
That's why I mute the thing. I'm not.
Yeah, just set Discord to do not disturb. It's not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
So,
All
anyway.
Yes, it is Ragdoll and LQ 1998, and we're going to talk about both of these real quick, just to showcase. I'm trying to get a link.
I mean, Meso, I got the links right
Thanks, please.
now. Yeah, gosh. Anyway, that is the one by Ragdoll, and the second one coming up is by LQ, and then he has more numbers, and I forgot the numbers. Wait, I just linked Ragdoll's again. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you just linked the 2 of them twice.
In my defense, I thought it would have done that. There we go. Anyway, okay, so which one do you want to talk about first?
I believe LQ's was developed with the help of some of the other artists here in our sponsor chat.
Yes.
I think.
Well, kinda, sorta. He got some help from a friend of his, Klenda V, on our message boards, who's they're both members of another podcast. And so they kind of cooperatively worked on these.
Cool. Okay. So the one thing I will say is, obviously, for the longest time, we've been talking about how the Matoran, the big debate so far has always been about whether or not you could tell between the Toa and the Matoran who is the priority immediately right off the bat. Right? It's been the whole thing.
That was the tricky situation that kept.
Yeah.
Right.
If the Matoran are the same size as the Toa, then what makes the Toa special, and how would you be able to
what's
tell
called
them?
the Chima problem, where the only thing defining the main characters from the secondary characters was their golden armor. So,
Right.
Even
And
then.
even at that point, it's you can still see characters getting lost.
It was still very hard
lineup.
to tell.
Yeah,
Like in the
some
lineup, you
non-important
couldn't
characters
tell.
had gold, and you couldn't figure out who was the protagonist and who wasn't, and
Right.
it was a mess.
Yeah. So, with these 2 designs, they're both ideas being pitched towards how to make it work to where you can still give the Matoran actual minifigure legs, make them the same height as the Toa, but keep them to a point where you can still tell the distinction between the 2. I will say just right off the bat that LQ's designs are pretty cool. Going through all the regions, it's really nice that they went to so much work to get the different various region color schemes going on. Really nicely done. With that said, I know that some people still feel like this is good and that there's a clear distinction, but for me, I'm still not convinced.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree.
I would say that part of the reason is she only shows one, or sorry, she. I don't know why I said she. He only shows one comparison between the Toa and the.
Yeah, I kind of wish he chose a
Yeah.
different Toa.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like in that, if you're looking straight up at that image you had, the Tahu and the, like,
You said she again.
why do I keep saying that?
Because you woke up like 4 minutes before the podcast this morning.
Possibly.
Yeah.
If you look at that, like, I feel like just looking at those two, that first image, you can kind of tell which one's the main character and which one isn't. Sort of detail and everything, but like for the later ones, it does get a little harder to tell, especially since you're not seeing the straight comparison to what the Toa.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the straight comparison, and it's like I feel like the further down I go, the more complex some of the designs get, or the color layering gets.
I feel that.
And I don't know. I feel like while it's obviously clear that one has for comparative sake, it's a simpler design, it's still complex enough to me that I'm not sure if that distinction is readily apparent right off the bat.
I do like how it's Nuva-esque armor on a minifigure body from a purely design standpoint. That looks cool, but for the purpose of the debate, yeah.
It's funny because, like, I think that's a cool idea, but seeing it executed, I feel like something's off about it. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but like to me,
I mean, honestly, I think the design is still too complex.
It is quite complex.
It's still just too much going on, and
it's complex.
Visually, it's too busy, and it makes it too similar to the Toa, even if the design's different.
It's because the colors there's a bit too many varied colors.
Yeah, I think it's the colors too.
Spaces.
Which is why I'm really happy that we have the other design too. So
even still, it was a good effort.
No,
it's really good. It's really good. These Matoran designs are awesome.
We're only just like kind of critiquing a bit so that they can take that and refine it.
Basically, yes.
So I do want to see what they.
The whole purpose of this: keep going, keep tweaking, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah. This is definitely helping us out
because this is a really cool start here. So moving on to ragdolls real quick.
This one's very radical, but
this one is interesting because I looked at it. The first time I looked at it was the first time I was convinced that it could be possible that you could maybe pull this off.
Agreed.
Because to me, it's immediately apparent that there are 3 tiers of importance with these minifigures.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's incredibly clear, very distinct, very obvious who is important and who is not important. And I really love that about this aspect here. The normal Matoran, they're on the left there. Soldier guys, who cares about them? They're there. They've got varied skins, enough varied skins like between the masks that they're different, but they're also samey enough that you don't really care too much about them. But Jaller and Armodo have colors, and the layering is obviously not as complex as the Toa. It's mostly a very muted palette with just the black and the gray color scheme, and it's got these highlights that add a lot of contrast to it, though. And that contrast is what really sets them apart. It's what really draws the focus to them, makes them appear as though they're more important than the soldier characters. But then you've got Tahu, who's just filled with color, color everywhere. And it's like, okay, clearly that guy's more important.
It's power is kind of denoted by color here. Like the least powerful characters to like the more powerful characters. And then finally the Toa have all the color. And you're like, yeah, these people are definitely imbued with the powers.
It's a really clever way of doing it. Scorpion Strike in the live studio audience just said it's like the amount of color on the Matoran directly relates to their elemental attunement and status.
That's it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and I like that a lot.
That's a good idea.
I think this design is really, really something. I really like it.
I do think perhaps they could get away with a little bit more color.
Yeah,
no, it's not perfect.
Not too much.
Because the thing is with the black. It works really well in this image for this one
tribe
region, but with Normodo and Jaller, I feel like they could maybe use a bit more color, like something in the chest area or something.
I think in the chest area.
Or maybe just a little bit of the design on the chest. I don't know. I'd have to see like a bit more.
Maybe do some iterations for this concept, but like I think just a bit more color maybe in some of them, maybe something to set them apart a little bit, but I do really like this concept though. My only concern is with the black colors here. How are we planning on doing it for the other regions?
Right.
Envisioning that was kind of difficult,
something I was
especially like
look into exploring in my own time. Just kind of experimenting with this concept. So I'll whip something up.
We were discussing how, like, with the fire region, yellow's always kind of been like a secondary color. OG Jala had yellow for fire, and then there's red, obviously. but we need to figure out how we can play into that for some of the other elements too, to have multiple different Matoran types. So
Right. Yeah, because keep in mind that like if these guys are black and red, and that's like going to be their main color scheme, then what do we go with for the Onu Matoran, who are either black or green? They're either going to be black and green, but then what are we going to do
black
for
and
the
tan, but then what are we going to do for stone?
air? Yeah, the wind Matoran or the stone Matoran, and those colors can conflict. So that's kind of where my mind is right now when I'm seeing this design.
Multiple shades for multiple different types of Matoran as well, because that was always a staple as well. Like if we do a Matoran of wind, if we want to have varied designs, we can have that one green color, or we could do white, but then that plays too much into ice. We need to figure out shading.
We do need to figure out the colors and how they work into it. But I feel like this is a really great starting point. Obviously,
yeah, this is a very good concept. I really like this.
I do too.
Yeah,
this really convinced me that it's possible.
I love like how Naruto and Jala actually look kind of like they're tribal beings, kind of like a mask and like a grass skirt kind of deal. I love that.
I love how much Naruto looks like too.
Yeah,
but he's
exactly.
not Tahu. He's clearly not Tahu, but he looks like Tahu, and I love that a lot.
Yeah.
So
obviously,
I think that works really well here.
I've always thought that this was possible in terms of like what we could do with design. I'm glad to really see that being realized, because a lot of times when you're just talking conceptually about something, you need to show others what that is. And so this is really on the
another concern that some people might have is that with the black, because I'm not really sure what Ragdoll has in mind with the other regions still, even with like just the base black color scheme, if he's planning on making them all black or not, which we were talking about that very briefly last night when we first saw these. I did mention that originally in like G1 and G2, we're kind of used to the Matoran species being very, very separate and color-coded based on their element, like the Toa are. But when it comes down to the Matoran themselves, we don't necessarily have to make them all like color-coded, where if this one region's all red and this one region's all blue, they could all share this black color scheme with the elemental highlights to show where they're from.
Kind of like clone troopers, if you look at how clone troopers
they've got like the different face paints.
Yeah. Well,
right, exactly.
I don't like the clone trooper comparison because A, their base color is all white, and B, unless you were told, you don't know what those different colors mean.
That is true.
Yeah, but I mean,
you're still able to differentiate between different characters.
That only matters to an extent because they're not part of different tribes. They're part of different
what I'm saying is that like
they also did shoulder palette, like different like shoulder. I don't know what they're called. Shoulder pads. Pauldrons, that's it. They did different shoulder pauldrons depending, and those people would be of higher status, so it's more like real life.
Some of them.
People who are of higher status have bigger shoulder pauldrons. That's a real thing.
Right. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about the like different armor like pauldrons and stuff, but like I feel like the comment about whether it's white or black doesn't really matter too much. But the actual like secondary colors, while the comment that you might not know where they're from initially unless you're told is accurate. I mean, I feel like you're going to be told where they're from regardless of how much color is going to be on them or not. I mean, like, no person who's new to the franchise is going to immediately know that they're all separated from different regions and that they're all color-coded. That any less than they would if
they're just going to look like colorful robot minifigs.
I mean, like, it's like, think about the actual like Matoran we got G1, and it's like saying, well, we don't know the difference. You know what this one Matoran's blue, one Matoran's red. How do you know the difference between them?
It's like
we don't know what they're from. It's like that would apply to anything, I guess.
Tahunga had teal, but then the Tarakava also had teal. And that was a water villain, and Konga was like an air Matoran, and I was like, so what's this color associated with? And they just dropped it. And they never used it again.
Yeah, and like I immediately think of like instances in G1, like the Colosseum, for instance, where they're just all gathered around, and it's just like, I mean, I don't really know if the color, like, sure, they're separated by region from their colors, but it's like, I don't think it really, you kind of have to be told that they're from different regions when you see a picture like that to really understand that the colors mean anything.
That's true. If you look at that crowd picture, it's just like all the different assorted Matoran. They could all just be one species, and they just have different, colors like we do and Earth.
Yeah.
True.
So I don't know. It's obviously a change, though. So it might take some getting used to or some more thinking about. But
we clearly have to like plan out, and hopefully Ragdoll also plans this out further with others, the other tribes, because that could be a make or break. But I think really the point that I'm kind of coming to with the whole like leg discussion, which we're not going to get into this week. We're still talking about it behind the scenes.
I'm just talking about the concept.
I know. Well, I'm the one who's about to like step into it. I'm not talking about you. I'm about to say. Even if we ever did short legs, I'm liking this color coding concept enough.
Yeah.
Where I'd still want to go with it to some degree.
He said that it would still work with
that,
short legs, and I feel that's still true.
It still would.
But then because of that, you get into
my
like,
thing is,
why would you bother? And
right.
Yeah, if we're going to do short legs, what I would do is I would stick with LQ's designs. That's my thing. I think LQ's designs are great. I would say they're really, really great. But I still feel like the Tahu would get lost in that lineup. However, if you made those designs with short legs, I feel like it would work really well. I think those designs would work fantastically. However, if we aren't going to go the short leg route, man, I'm just stumbling over my words. Then I think Ragdoll's designs are a very nice solution to the problem that I had previously.
Right.
So
they do solve that issue.
I really like the 3-tier system.
Yeah,
It's
I
what
like
LEGO's doing
I like
right
it too.
now with Nexo Knights, and I don't know if it's working for them or not, but like they have the King's Guard, and then they have like the bots and the Knights, and varied units to diversify your troop building, and people would really get behind that.
Yeah, the troop building, and also like being able to put your own, like people would make custom Matoran, with their own little elemental designs and stuff on the mask and everything, like they do with the clone troopers.
With that said, when it comes to customizability, LQ's designs offer a lot more options.
Oh
when it
yes,
comes to
because someone also mentioned
There's a lot more compatibility between the different region Matoran.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there were also comments in the chat like, if everybody's black, what are you going to do for the Matoran cultists? Like, how are you going to diversify them? And like, how are you going to do? Like,
I would honestly, I would say that
it's not like the cultists have their own village. Really, they're just Matoran that come from the different regions. So if we want to like come up with something, it could just be something like a tattoo.
I would imagine the cultist Matoran would look very similar to the soldiers, where they're black, except instead of the little emblem on their chest and their arm, it would be an actual like Makuta symbol, like a mark.
Yeah. Right. I actually had this idea where
maybe a few purple stripes instead of red. I don't know.
Right. I had this idea where they put on like corrupted masks. Like back in G1 where they had,
or they could have tattoos on their masks that sort of resemble the infected masks.
Right. And, infected masks. That's what they're called. But like that was like the.
That would be pretty cool. I would totally draw that.
Organizations on Earth that have like a hood design or like a hat design or like something.
Bukelman asks, are we doing Jin 2 Toa colors like azure, light green, dark orange, etc.?
Just look at the Toa now.
Sure, yeah. That's a thing. It's maybe difficult to tell, but those are.
Well, we're only having 6 Toa ever.
Indeed.
The thing. So,
but for Matoran, well,
at a time at least.
Think about that.
7 Toa ever.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of the question, yes, all the different shades of colors are possible to mix and match if we ever so fit for Matoran. At least, like having different shades.
So it's definitely something to think about going forward. I hope both LQ and Ragdoll sort of tweak their designs a little bit and
I hope they
revisit them just a bit.
They're able to see what we want to them.
I'm curious to see how far they can take them a bit more.
All contributes to the discussion and is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Umati also did a concept as well. I don't know if we wanted to talk about it. He did it in between. Yeah, let me see if I can find
access to it right now.
I'm like trying to find it. Hopefully, someone can get to it before I can.
I don't know what you're talking about, so I can't do it.
Here, I got it.
Okay.
Gotcha. And then I think we might have to say goodbye to Vin.
Yeah. I would love to stick around, but I gotta get going.
To work?
Fare thee well, Vin.
Nah, other things.
Unacceptable.
Personal things you'll never hear about because I'm hiding it behind your back.
In front of you.
In front of you.
I can't allow that, Vin.
Mwaha. But yeah, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. See you soon, Jafeel.
Sync 'em out.
See ya, Vin.
Bye.
I don't need to think about this.
Okay.
It's fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you.
All right.
Stop your recording and upload it anyway.
Going-
Let's talk about this discussion.
Bye.
Move on to stuff.
Go.
Okay.
I'm
So,
not. I feel like I might change my tune if I actually like saw it on a minifigure, like
It's a rough
colored
sketch,
in.
yeah.
It is a rough sketch. I'm not that big on it. It's certainly not.
There's elements about it I do like. I do like the distribution of color on the chest a little bit, and how it's like primarily gray. Like the other ones are primarily they have like they use their secondary color, the gray color, to a much greater degree.
I do
I do
like
feel
how
like
it
there's
looks
a
like
bit
a
too much
Mata
color.
torso
Gray
with.
degree.
Shut up. It's like a Mata torso with the superhero add-on over the top. It's like a combo of styles with the pistons and stuff, and I do like that.
I like the pistons. That is pretty.
I'm just not sure how it would actually look on a regular minifigure.
For me, I feel like the color distribution is just not
Yeah,
not
that's
quite
it.
there.
I feel like the torso design is actually really stellar, but the color distribution is, especially with the legs, I feel is a bit too.
I don't think this is a good. Honestly speaking, I like the design on the right more than the one on the left. It looks more what I have come to expect a Toa design to look like. The other one, it doesn't really match our designs too heavily. It was kind of his own deal, and it feels a little too, like, you know how you put on a shirt that has a bunch of horizontal stripes on it, makes you look kind of bloated.
You'd know that very well, LJ, with your shirt.
That I do. Indeed. It just I'm not a big fan of the design. I like the one on the right more, and then the one on the right has just a lot of gray.
I can't unsee Tahu's design on the left. It looks like he has an orange crota like crawling up his chest.
Like he had a
I can't
burrito for
unsee
breakfast,
that.
and it's still
Yeah,
with
no,
them.
with the Toa design, I definitely like ours more than that one.
For sure.
But I'm sure
Matoran
he
has
just made it
promise.
as a concept.
Yeah.
The Matoran does have some promise that, like, if you combine the best aspects of all of these together, you might get something. And granted, that's what, like, I feel the same way that we did when we were looking through all the Toa concepts, remember? And Ragdoll had a concept, and Umatu had a concept, and like all the, and then we
had to
took
smash
the
them
best-
together.
well, we took out the best of them, and Bar was able to make a really fantastic Toa design. I feel like the same can be done with the Matoran.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
totally.
But definitely any art, like any of this great fan art that people are doing for the project definitely helps us think about what we want and like refine that. We wouldn't have made the Toa that we made without the efforts of other people contributing their own, little bits to the fandom and everything. So
100%.
you guys really help us kind of focus down and think about what we're going to do.
And speaking of community, there's another thing we want to talk about today that's also community-driven, community-centric.
Yeah, and this is actually
Var,
going to bridge into some new canon stuff as well.
You take this one because you were the one who replied to it first and were really, really into it. You also summarized it quite well. You can do so again.
Okay. So there was a pitch created by Dark Nova 3529, who I believe has some like pretty deep roots in the original
It's
G3
cool.
sort of.
Way back when we first started
Yeah.
talking about this, I used an example mock of his. It was the first person ever on our boards to make System Bionicle, from what I can remember. And I'll throw it in the video again. I will do it. I will remember to do it.
Yeah,
and
right.
It was
All
the
right.
Lost Bridge
Yeah,
battle.
okay.
It was like Lost Bridge with like the system minifigures. It was pretty rudimentary, really basic, but it was the kickstart inspiration for, and I used it in the podcast. I was like, with some tweaking, this could actually work. And now he's back with another pitch.
Yeah. So Dark Nova's pitch is essentially he's going for the region of lightning, because obviously we've been pretty open about wanting to introduce a Toa of Lightning into the story for a while now.
Some people still don't believe we're actually going to go through with Voriki, but it's happening. Voriki
Yeah, I mean, it
canon.
is Voriki.
It's Voriki.
Female Toa of Lightning Voriki.
Yes.
Anyway, so the pitch is based on the region of lightning. He titled it Elysia City of the Storm. And I mean, before I even get into the pitch itself, I just got to talk. Like he starts it off by giving us another system mock.
Yes.
And it is a mock of the entire city, like a set of the city. And it is just really cool, really well done.
The guy-
Legit
The
incredible.
guy's known in our community for doing outstanding mocks, and I've really only seen his construction mocks, but this would have been a contender for our contest. Like, it's
Oh, definitely.
really
this
good.
This would have been. I mean,
This is up there.
This is definitely 100% up there.
And he not only does he have the mock itself, which is already awesome, but he does have some like nice photoshopping images here where it's like the mock kind of silhouetted in like the storm itself. And it's just really cool. Really awesome. So like talking about the actual pitch itself, the pitch is essentially the origin of the lightning tribe and its connection to the island Artaka. Essentially the way he sort of lays it out is that obviously there's the three brother concept that we had prior, and they make the Matoran tribes, something we already had prior, and Akimu gives the Matoran sentience, something we had prior. You know, these are all things that we've already developed. I like that he's sticking with our canon very closely. Very nice there. Makes it easier to digest this this concept. When it starts to diverge with his own new ideas is when he talks about the relationship between Akimu and Makuta towards Akimu giving the Matoran sentience. So the way he pitches it is that Akimu grants a Matoran sentience. It obviously angers Makuta. The two kind of clash against each other, and eventually they come to an agreement where so long as they sort of let the Matoran be and leave them at peace, then they'll just sort of ignore that. And the pact, essentially the agreement is to not make or not tamper with life ever again, right? No more Matoran tribes, no more sentience, no more of that stuff. As long as we abide by that, we'll leave the Matoran alone.
If you stop right here and never do anything again, we'll just let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah, we'll just
and
let it go.
Sentient Matoran
More like
lie
let
as well.
sleeping dogs die. They're kind of hoping that the Matoran will go extinct in like another couple thousand years.
Right.
Yes.
And that they won't have to deal with it anymore.
It's like, because obviously they're brothers, so they were able to reach this agreement over this, even though Makuta is not in favor of it. And Akimu is obviously like, but Makuta, come on, man. Life, am I right? Cool. So they reach the agreement to let it be. However, then a seventh tribe shows up. And Makuta is just not having it. Makuta is angry, upset about this whole thing. They broke the agreement. Akimu, I can't believe you broke our agreement thing. And they clash. There's this battle, this giant battle that starts ripping apart the island, killing Matoran races, and people are dying left and right. This is a big change that the guy introduces here. Initially in our pitch, we had the elemental gods sort of come together and banish the three brothers because of the destruction of the island. And honestly, this is kind of a no-brainer change that Dark Nova made here. Instead of the elemental gods doing that themselves, essentially what he does is he gives the Toa creation and origin. So the reason the Toa have been created is for them to banish the gods themselves. Like, that is their purpose, their destiny here, is to defeat or to banish the gods from destroying the island and save the Matoran. Really cool idea. I don't know why we didn't think of that before.
It's like, it makes even like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, that's really dumb of us, because if the elemental gods can seal away the three great beings in the first place, why do they even need Toa? Why don't they just keep doing stuff, right?
Exactly.
That there's no reason for them to
Doesn't really
like
make much
bestow
sense,
power upon anybody. But this, what we came across is that the elemental gods just have the ability to manage the elements and kind of, but they can't actually use it themselves.
They can't use them on the gods. So what they do is they give that power to people that can use it.
Right.
Ergo Toa. So I thought that was a really, really creative solution. We're going to go with that for sure. Anyway, so the elemental gods created the Toa, and the Toa are then brought in to banish the gods or the great beings from the island and save the world. Cool. Awesome sauce. So now the whole situation has been resolved. The great beings are gone. We have Toa whenever there's a time and like whenever they're needed for saving, and we are now at a time of peace, except with this seventh tribe, the tribe of lightning. They're kind of ostracized by the rest of the island. The other Artakans, I guess.
Aardvarkans,
the Matoran. They sort of see the seventh tribe as kind of the catalyst for the destruction that happened. You could almost call it the Great Cataclysm, huh?
G1 references.
Yeah, I like it. Anyway, they kind of see the seventh tribe as the thing that sort of set this all in motion. So they're slowly ostracized by the rest of the island. Kahi, you were actually pitching before that it could be the Mungaians to kind of start this because that's part of their culture, is that they just sort of disregard these
Their
people.
view of dishonor is to like completely ignore that person and try to not mention them, not mention their achievements, not do anything. So like in Mungaian culture, that's what they do, and that's what they do to Tahu essentially whenever Tahu creates this great shame. In the pitch.
So essentially, the Mungaians kind of kick off this like ostracization,
and it just kind of spreads to the rest of the island, even though it's not part of their culture. How they see the Mungaians treat the tribe of lightning kind of carries to them as well.
So the lightning tribe is sort of like seen as this kind of black sheep almost. They're not very lucky. They kind of bring in death, destruction. They're not a good symbol for the island. So the rest of the island kind of ignores them, ostracizes them. And eventually the lightning tribe is like, we've had enough of this. We're going to leave. So they leave the island. Now, there is this infinite storm that's kind of brewing and constantly there towards the northern section of the island, further off in the distance, that is so destructive, so powerful that no one in the island has ever ventured there before. However, with the seventh tribe, they're like, well, we don't have a home here anymore. No one's ever going to go there to bother us. Let's just pack our things and move our tribe somewhere else. So they travel to the infinite storm. They build Elysia, the city of the storm, and they continue to live out their lives away from the island, away from anybody else for the rest of their lives.
That's pretty sad, man.
What a happy ending.
That's pretty sad.
They're kind of like the Jedi almost, or like a
Exiles.
self-imposed exile from the island.
Feels bad, man.
So a couple things from the pitch itself that the Dark Nova brought up that we'll probably have to work around a little bit is initially with I forgot the biggest twist.
Yeah.
The seventh tribe that kind of set everything off in motion, that showed up out of nowhere. Akimu didn't make them like Makuta thought. And
Guess who?
in the end, it turns out that Karzani was the one that made the seventh tribe. Yeah.
Indeed.
Trying to stir stuff.
So okay, I've been thinking about this since last night because we did come across a problem last night, and that was that one, Var, you're talking about how Karzani might not have been sealed away with the rest of the
right. Okay. Well, that's what I was trying to. What I was going to mention was because in the initial pitch that Dark Nova presented, Karzani does get sealed away. So like, it's sort of revealed during that final clash between Akimu and Makuta that Karzani did in fact make the seventh tribe. So then there's a three-way fight between the three brothers, and that's when the Toa are created, and the Toa banished the three at the same time. But see, in the pitch, it's kind of presented as though Karzani just kind of jumps in, to be honest.
Right.
Personally, how I felt about it. So I'm not really sure of the best way to go about having that reveal that the seventh tribe was made by Karzani, and then Karzani getting involved in the fight itself.
I feel like, well, here's the thing that I was
Chronix
thinking
puts
about.
it nicely. Why even fight? No, go ahead.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
the
Like, why would
idea-
Karzani get involved?
Here's what I was thinking. So Karzani's whole thing, he's not like Makuta and like a grandmaster plotting to get his power back or plotting to get this goal on the island, but he values chaos in the sense like that only really starts manifesting after he gets his mask and the mask starts like presenting him of all these alternate futures, so much so to the point where he cannot actually comprehend everything that's going place, and that whole thing is going on. So because of this, he realizes or he sees that a lot of the futures with the most amount of chaos are obviously the ones where the gods are overthrown, the great beings are overthrown, and the inhabitants are made to to live amongst themselves, and like they aren't kind of slowly being herded towards extinction by Makuta and Akimu over time. And I feel like that would be that would be his reasoning for this catalyst or something, in order to kind of make sure everything does go haywire. He wants to cause this discord among Makuta and Ikimu and himself and throw the whole world off balance and kind of like. As well. I was thinking about kind of like Heath Ledger's Joker in a sense, maybe kind of like an evil Jack Sparrow.
Or like the good elements of Vezon before he became too annoying.
Right.
Like,
I mean, like Jack
people
Sparrow
actually
is
liked
interesting.
Vezon.
Like he's an interesting character because he feels like a random character for a lot of it, and then it turns out that he did kind of know what was going on, and like everything was kind of like twisting and changing based on that. So maybe like some sort of in between the series, because I don't think we should have another Grandmaster villain after Makuta in a sense. Like I feel
Definitely
like Makuta, that's his thing of like kind of scheming and plotting, and Karzani is a bit more of like
even when
I know what's
Makuta
gonna
is
happen
more
if I
like
do this,
Gray,
so
he's the schemer.
Right.
Karzani should be just like
unpredictable.
Unpredictable, yes.
Just like Jack, I guess. Just like the Joker. Kind of like you don't know. Everything they do is just kind of so insane and crazy. You're wondering what they're going to do next. And it's all working towards something kind of, but not really. But,
You don't really know. And that's
You're right.
the whole point.
Yeah.
No, of course,
So
the logistics of how he got involved in the fight, that's still...
Yeah, the part about like how he ends up getting banished is the one thing that I'm still unsure about. I mean, when we talked about it last night, we were talking about how like he could just. I mean, obviously, it kind of goes back in the whole like the schemer thing. But last night, one of the things was like he could have just not fought and just stayed out of it. But then it makes it seem like he schemed the whole thing and like it was him that set everything up. And that's not what we want. So
it could have happened to like Karzani, Ikimu, and Makuta could have started off creating the world, right? And they're like the three brothers were doing all this stuff, and they in the meantime they also fashion their masks in order to help them, kind of them. Ikimu has the mask creation and whatnot, Makuta mask control, and Karzani the mask of alternate futures. And that once he gets that mask, the mask starts slowly at first, but then rapidly starts like making him more and more insane, right? Because we're talking about how he's viewing all these alternate futures at once, and it's kind of getting to him. And so he's essentially like, as he goes more and more insane, he's not able to do anything anymore. And they kind of like, they don't chain him up, but they kind of like put him in like a corner. He's kind of like just become.
Go
crazy.
take a timeout.
Like, what?
No, I'm just like, take a timeout.
Right, exactly.
Go sit in your corner.
Right, but they kind of like put him into like a straight jacket kind of deal, and they put him into like a little asylum. And so for a while, he's been out of the picture for so long that Ikimu and Makuta don't consider him, and because he's become insane, he's lost the ability to kind of like create in the same way he did, be an engineer, do whatever. So he's lost that, and they kind of just assume he has nothing to do with it. I was talking before how Ikimu and Ikimu could have been like, hey, all these people. Kind of harkening back to G1, all these people worship me, and Makuta, you're just kind of jealous because like you don't have anybody that like has a sentience enough to like acknowledge you and like do it, and that's why he created this other tribe so you could do it. He's like, you're totally jealous of that. Makuta's like, no, I said it was a mistake. You're the one that's like going back in their deal and they're doing stuff, and they're both like they have that conflict, and it's not until they're like, wait a second, what's Karzani been up to actually? Has he, And then, like once they come down.
So, are you implying that like Karzani is like in a prison or an insane asylum, or have they just forgotten about him?
He's not in a prison, so much as like it's not like a well constructed prison. They didn't construct it to like chain him down or like hold him in.
They just kind of put him in isolation.
Yeah, isolation where he doesn't he looks like he doesn't really want to come out of. They check on him every once in a while, but he's just kind of going crazy.
Huh.
He's in timeout.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if one of your siblings went crazy, and you're like, okay, sure, we'll keep you here,
yeah.
but it's like,
I've been there before, yeah.
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 Exactly.
Of course.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
That was
an
my
interesting
opinion.
idea. I don't mind that much. So it's sort of like
It just have to be conveyed a very specific way to make sure the
Right.
point gets across.
right. So, but then he does he still get involved in the final conflict?
Presumably, Ikimu
yes,
and
once they
Makuta go
come and
seek him out.
Yeah.
Oh, they confront him.
And
Okay.
at that point, that's actually an interesting twist. At that point, would Makuta still be mad at Ikimu for propagating this and saying like hurtful stuff to him, or
Yeah,
would
exactly.
they be
Probably
united
not.
against Karzani?
No, they would be like they're even though they are united against Karzani, it's caused a rift between them anyways. Makuta still resents Ikimu for like creating his sentience in the first place. And then like on this added thing where Ikimi's like, yeah, but you actually really wanted to do this. You're just really, like you really I mean, what have you really done for this island? It's like I've actually created this
is like,
sentience.
I mean, I did all the dishes, what did you have?
Right, exactly.
That actually is very humanizing to them. It makes them like this regular.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And then like Makuda's
I'm
like,
the
well, what do you mean?
golden
What have I done?
child.
You've made everything so much worse of your mistake.
Mom and Dad would be disappointed in you.
That's
no!
You could actually have mom and dad. Imagine the mom and dad great beings, and they descend from the sky, and they're like, "All right, at the end of life,
Go to your room.
What have you done?
Shut up, Mom.
But yeah, essentially that's the rift between them. Ikimu views the Matoran as like gift and sentience. Makuda doesn't. That will cause them to be completely at odds. By the time even if they figure out Karzani's done it, Karzani's doing all this thing, it just kind of causes a chaos between them, and it just he puts that into a head.
Brother.
So
Just
he does kind of manipulate them in a sense, but it's more of like there's no real set goal in mind. It's like, this is the future. Most of the futures I've seen happen with you guys fighting and then the Toa being created. So
it's like Karzani ate Ikimu's chocolate and then said it was Makuta.
Essentially, yeah.
That is what it is.
Nice. All right, and that'll tie into our Lightning Tribe, the origins of the Lightning Tribe. Funnily enough, the pitch from Dark Nova chose to opt out of mentioning Voriki entirely, and he said that was on purpose. And I actually appreciate that a lot, because we have our own ambitions for what we want Voriki to be. So I'm glad that he was able to sort of I just love this pitch.
This should be the gold standard for pitches.
Yeah, like
in the future.
He was able to follow what we had as far as our structure and our lore, but expand upon it by being really clear and giving us like a direction to go towards, but like also vague enough and leaving us open enough to still fit in our ideas too. I really like this pitch.
Everything about this pitch is almost completely perfect. It's very well thought out without infringing on like, trying to redo canon or trying to like make something different. It has very clear visuals and very well done visuals to an extent that people haven't been doing before. Like the villages not building out the Lego. People haven't been doing that before. I'm so glad he did that with this one. Anything that makes us think is automatically, to me, like a really good pitch, and this is one of the best we've had so far.
To you, man.
Yeah,
up there with all the stuff Umatu does and like the
I would say this is very, very similar to an Umatu pitch as well.
Right.
Clear story direction and then visual to accompany it.
Ragdoll's also like, I remember like we were kind of unsure of how the Toa would look like, and once we saw Ragdoll's design, we're like, there we go. That's what I've been envisioning in my head.
He was the first time I was actually convinced that Toa minifigures could look really good. It was nice.
Yeah.
Community's awesome. That's the moral of the story. You guys
definitely been helping with this.
I don't know like how this project would actually be going right now if like it wasn't a podcast.
We'd still be arguing about the leg lengths.
Honestly, yes. I think you guys.
Oh, who am I kidding?
You guys are like irritated. If you guys are irritated about like how we are on the podcast, it's just in our blood. We can debate stuff for weeks.
Yeah,
well, we've done it before.
We had a
debated
discussion, and by brief discussion, I mean
colors.
it was more of like a slapdown. Purple hates when we discuss things like this because we were talking about the Saturn V Apollo model that Lego just recently made.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because Varkahi and I, we were having a drag-out conversation about that, and Purple's like, oh, like, you're part of a discussion group. This is our lifeblood.
Yeah, it's like,
I missed it.
It's like, what else? What are you going to contribute otherwise? We're just going to sit in silence all the time? That's what we do. We talk about stuff, and then we, like, go back and forth. This has been literally the podcast.
About grasshoppers to bother doing anything in there.
Oh my god, that grasshopper thing is really frustrating.
That grasshopper.
How can someone be afraid of a grasshopper? Like, I'll understand a snake. I like snakes, but I understand it. I understand spiders because I'm afraid of spiders, but grasshoppers?
Well, I mean, like, to be fair, like, she's
to
skittish
people.
around bugs, just in general. Anything that's like creepy and crawling and coming towards her. A lot of girls are like that.
At a certain extent,
a lot of girls, I'm like that.
You gotta understand.
Yeah,
there's a certain level where logic will beat out a fear. Like for me, I've legitimized my fear because I think every spider is potentially dangerous. Not that every spider is, it's just, I don't know if that small spider is just a house spider or brown recluse. I just don't know.
I'm not saying it's rational. I'm saying that, like,
I check the toilet seat every time I'm at America because
I know a lot of girls are like that.
Spiders biting butt.
I will say this: I've been to Malaysia, my parents' home country before. Their cockroaches are gigantic. Like, when you think of a cockroach in the United States, do you think of like a kind of a, it's not like a tiny insect, but it's like decently, small. I mean, it's about maybe smaller than the grasshopper. The cockroaches in Malaysia are gigantic, and they freak me out. They freak me out.
That's actually what I'm
I've
used
seen
to.
cockroaches here in North Carolina that are like the size of my thumb.
He's talking like
these are bigger. These are like I'm gonna try to find a photo.
he's talking like rab roaches.
Yeah, I know. I've never actually encountered a cockroach. Ever.
I've seen one while I was on holiday in the Canary Islands, and the size isn't what freaked me out. It was how quick they are, how slippy they are. That freaks me out. I'm slow.
Yeah, those things are fast.
And I'm reacting like 3 seconds later.
Okay, just like, look at these.
Don't.
Yeah.
You want?
I don't want to see pictures. Enough.
You want, mate? Louise
Yeah,
is
that's
freaking out.
That's the size
Please.
of cockroach that I'm used to.
Stop, please.
Yeah, exactly,
don't
right?
delete.
Get me, Envy. Those are like like when I think of a cockroach, that's what I think is like a huge thing with the size of like half your palm or something. So,
Amazing, Malay.
long story short, I
man.
don't necessarily blame Purple for being scared of spiders because it's a general thing. I know a lot of people.
Spiders,
or not
I understand.
Insects.
Dude, like American
insects
bugs
are what
are
confuse me.
scary.
But
Like,
the issue is that like she just didn't want to do anything about it, and but she was complaining about it so much. I was like,
She sure did want to do something about it. She wanted to talk about it all the time.
She wanted to discuss
Oh
it.
wow,
was
that's
like,
what she wants
I
to
wish
discuss.
I just want to just fly over to your house and crush this bug. You just stop.
Yeah, so just you
That's
shut
what
up.
she wants,
Like,
though.
just-
Don't give her
Hey,
that. She
like
needs
you guys have the scariest wasps ever. Like
Oh,
I,
yeah,
went,
Lost
I, went,
counters.
I went to Florida, okay, like
Okay.
November, and we sat on the beach, and then I see this like shadow in the corner of my eye. I turn around, look up, and this like wasp that's got extended legs and a long abdomen is coming at me, and I'm like, "Ah, Dad!" And Dad's like, "Oh, you freaking out about a bloody wasp again?" And he's like,
Also, yeah, I was gonna say this.
Dude, wasps are freaky. I
In
hate
all
wasps.
fairness, though, Florida is kind of the Australia of the United States.
That
So,
is
like,
actually-
a lot
that
of the
is-
weird
that is
stuff.
100% correct.
Florida, Australia.
And so all of our Australian audience was insulted by being compared to Florida.
Listen,
Oh,
Florida
yeah.
man, he's definitely like that's definitely.
I apologize if anyone lived in Florida.
Yeah, we saw like armadillos. We didn't get to see alligators though. I wish I was able to see some alligators.
Yeah.
I didn't see one. Ate one.
They're
That
nothing
was good.
special.
Good meat.
What did you just say?
But it's just like, yeah,
They're
I live
nothing
with them.
special.
They're nothing
Oh yeah,
special.
you lived in Louisiana, didn't you?
I was born in Louisiana, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there a couple times. I've seen
A couple
I didn't know you
Yeah,
never lived
alligators.
anywhere outside of where you live.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
No, remember
The Secret
like,
Life of
Like,
Hurricane
Messinac.
Katrina hit and I was
Yeah.
displaced for a while. I was in Alabama for a time, like a year.
Remember Hurricane Katrina like destroyed his Bionicle collection?
Yeah, I just kind of assumed that he lived in like Mississippi then, though.
I've been in the trifecta of terrible southern states. Like, when people make fun of the South. It's like Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. I've
Wait.
been in all three.
Now, Meso, settle something for me. Is Alabama really sweet home?
Not particularly.
Dang.
It's neither sweet. It's neither sweet nor is it my home.
Is it
It's like
sour home Alabama?
It was
I'm
my-
getting flashback to Southern accent.
It was
Meso.
my sour temporary residence.
Amazing.
That's what it
I want
was.
that to be a song.
Last night. So, C
Boy.
Artist of G3, what requests for us to make a poll for what the community wants us to talk about. I can't promise we're gonna abide by it because we might have our own things that come up, but I would be interested in.
I would be
knowing.
interested to see like what we
I
we
mean,
want
I'm-
to tackle next. Sure.
I'm sure a lot of people want us to tackle the rest of the Tahu because we only talked about Tahu and Kopaka so far.
True, but I know we still need to do a full-fledged Matoran episode.
What
Talk about
options should we have?
characters.
Like, okay, so we have the rest of the Toa
Plan out
characters.
year 2 and year 3 stories. Some people want set design. Some people want like
Set design's gonna be a little. We could talk about it, but
so that'll be like the last thing we do.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's part of it is because we aren't system mockists by design. Like,
No,
we're
that'll
not
be a
really
community
skilled at
thing.
that. So that one we'll have to rely
we'll
on.
find yet another contest, to be
We have
honest.
artists here. We have story writers. We have like all these other people that do different things. But mocking with system is something that we're all new to.
Yeah. I know we were going to do it a while ago, but we will probably have to do like Brickonicle round 2 make sets based off our G3 pitch, and that'll be like
Yeah.
second contest, honestly. But if you guys want to do any at any point, just keep them on coming. Yeah, like the only way we'll be able to truly get that ball rolling is to actually know what our story is, so we can present a full 3-year pitch and then make sets based off that. And people can let them free. So we're gonna be doing everything but first. But yeah, we'll probably make a poll at some point.
There was also a comment by Scorpion Strike about if we're going to be doing or if there is a story Bible on all the canon stuff so far. There is a topic on the boards. I don't think it's updated.
That hasn't been updated in a bit. I missed the last couple podcasts, so I haven't been able to like fully sit down and edit it afterwards.
That is where it will be.
And I'm gonna miss a couple more because I'll be traveling. So I'm not sure which one I'll be.
Pizza.
Ah, nice episodes on the horizon.
Finally, a good one.
Yeah.
Just
So story Bible's not really around at the moment, but I'm sure it'll be something that might eventually come.
Dude,
We might actually do a story Bible in video form. I think.
Oh, we
Yes.
totally should, 100%.
Yeah,
It
I feel like
was-
we'll do
Yeah,
that.
we will be doing a video.
That
format.
wasp is freakish.
Oh yeah, no. I've seen those a bunch. They're
Yeah, I've seen this before.
that's a very they're mud something like not mud wasps, like
Ugh,
mud
just looking
dovers. Something like that. I know what those are.
Waspix encounters.
See my dad like
Wow.
just fumble off his deck chair.
Dude,
One of the
Eljay.
funniest things though. He's like
Yes.
6
You
foot
got that
three.
like completely right, Eljay. That is a mud dober.
Seriously, nice. Animal Planet, you paid off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice
Yeah.
job.
They're not as bad as the ones in Asia. Though. There's like some really massive ones in Asia that can kill you. Like
Yeah. Oh gosh, those are.
I can't remember what they're called. They're like orange,
Incredible.
black.
I don't want to travel.
They're like just. I'm gonna put in just the biggest wasp in the world.
You do that.
I'm sure, I know which one. Oh, okay, that's obviously Photoshopped. That.
Welcome to Waspcast. I remember there was one wasp story I had that I told on the podcast like years ago at this point.
Yeah, that's what I referenced. Waspix encounters.
Okay, yeah. That was fun. Not.
Louise says, if you don't travel, you'll never meet your foreign fans. I could say the same thing about you.
Ooh.
If you never travel, you'll never meet your foreign
cast members.
cast people that you follow. I don't know what you think. What is the term for us?
Oh, that's
like,
it.
and other people, like your
Uh,
YouTubers you follow?
Your friendly
Your-
neighborhood cast members.
Or no, it's like fans. What's the opposite of fans? It's like you'll never.
Louise
meet
says,
your
my senpais. Shit.
senpais.
Yeah. Come to Brick Fair, guys. Brick Fair, Virginia, August, whatever to the whatever. Check their website.
Actually, right now,
August whatever to
I
whatever.
will say that we've been promoted to wireless celebrities.
Y-listers, yeah,
Yeah,
Y-list
ever
for
since
life.
Brick Fair, I'm like, okay, we're maybe not Z-list anymore. We're just Y-list.
We get the
We
signatures.
have
Okay.
like 2 months away before Brick Fair.
Yeah.
Just about. Just
About,
about.
yeah.
Almost 2 months.
About 2.5.
He's freaking out.
Freak out.
Fluffing a
Just
picture.
just looking at how long the stingers are is making my nerves just like on edge. Just.
Yeah, living on that knife's edge.
You're on the edge.
I also
Wow.
found out the other day that in the area I live in, we have long-tailed wasps, and basically they have like a long appendage stinger that like comes out of their butt to try and sting you.
Welp.
And I'm
Most
just like,
wasps,
kill it with
in
fire.
fact, do that.
Dude, I wish I had a stinger.
No. No.
Beware my stinger tail.
I actually found out
And
the
on
other
that
day
note-
that you can save bees by when they sting you, they
Eating
don't
them.
always die.
Okay, here's something
look
you
at
guys.
Wadden's
I
Jeff.
want them to die.
Go
So.
look at
Basically-
Wadden's Jeff.
You basically let them like pull their stinger out. Otherwise, if you smack them, they'll force themselves off and they'll rip their body off.
I've
Save
got
the
it.
bees, guys. We gotta save them.
All right, so guys, catch a bee, catch it in like a container, put that container in the fridge or the freezer. I don't really know which. Probably the fridge. Okay? And that's going to cool the bee down. It's going to fall asleep. Take the sleeping bee, put it in your mouth, and it's going to wake up. You'll have a live bee in your mouth.
That's a really good
Or
idea.
just put it in Purple's room and she'll talk about it for the next 8 hours.
Yes.
It's the only thing she'll discuss.
Threaten her with it. Yeah, say
Exactly,
if
that's
you
how we
don't-
get her to
if you
talk.
don't talk about G3, we're gonna put a bee in your room.
B3.
BIONICLE B3.
I think we're done.
That should be the title. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and end
Bionicle
this
Entertainment Bexpo.
Expo.
That's pretty
All right.
fantastic.
Thank you all very much for listening to this week's episode of the TTV Podcast. It's been a fun ride. We got some stuff done. We got, hold up, before we end, Bookleman asks, how do I get tickets for your panels, not just the public days at Brick Fair? Well, you don't get tickets for panels. You can pay extra money to be an exhibitor, which basically means you can go early ahead of the public days. You can, like, set up your mocks if you have any. You can mingle with people. You can do games and stuff. You can basically get a good couple days of convention access before it becomes crowded and impossible to do stuff. Isn't that $60 per person if you
I think
pay
it's
early
70.
and then it goes up to
Oh,
80?
yeah,
Correct.
yeah, it's like 60 per person.
That
Like
is
early.
correct.
All right.
I don't
if
know
you
if
do it
the early-
soon, you can get it for 60
When is the
per
early
person.
date, though? It's coming pretty close. It
like
might have already passed.
July.
It's in
June.
July.
Yeah.
All right.
Go check
Also,
their
we're
website for it.
Most likely not going to be doing a panel this year.
I don't think so. Things might
We
change
haven't heard
as
anything
we
yet,
yeah
so-
as we go closer. We
Yeah.
might start talking to
many of
people and
us.
figuring some stuff out. But
Too many of us.
Hopefully,
also
if
too-
we do, we'll actually have
Too
microphones.
many of
will
us
actually
and too
rent
little
stuff.
audio set up.
we'll figure this out.
Either way, thanks all for listening. Patron shout out this week, as I said earlier, to Loganta the Matoran. You're a cool dude. We actually met him at Brick Fair. So hi.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Amazing.
And we will see you all next week. Thank you all for listening. See you all next time. I'm Meso.
I'm Bar.
I'm LJ.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Phweff.
And I'm Tenebrae Invictus.
And rest in peace, Vin. We knew thee well.
Wah,
See you all
wah,
next
wah.
time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.